Welcome back to Power and Politics. Tomorrow is the deadline for candidates in Alberta to officially join the race to replace Jason Kenney as leader of the United Conservative Party and premier of the province. So far, only Travis Taves, a provincial MLA and former finance minister, and Danielle Smith, a former MLA herself and former leader of the Wildrose Party, have officially made the cut. But Leela Ahir, Rebecca Schultz, and another former Wildrose Party leader, Brian Jean, could join them as official candidates. For more on where things stand as the race in Alberta heats up, Calgary Sun columnist Rick Bell is here, and so is the Globe and Mail's Kelly Cryderman. Both of them are in Calgary. Hello, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Rick, I want to start with you, and I want to ask you, for people who are not necessarily tuned into Alberta politics or who don't live in Alberta, who live in the rest of Canada, what do you think they need to know about this race?
It is turning out to be very, very interesting. Just like a lot of people across Canada were so puzzled that the much revered in Ottawa, Jason Kenney, could possibly ever no longer be the premier, forced out by his own party. And they were, some of them were very dismayed by how that could be possible. Now let them be dismayed yet again, because leading the field, I've been told by many, many people, and leading the field by quite a bit, is none other than Danielle Smith, former Wildrose leader, a person who is running on two major platforms. One is that Kenney was nowhere near tough enough with Trudeau, and the fight to Ottawa must be stronger. And number two, that with a Premier Danielle Smith, there would be no lockdowns, no closings in Alberta if COVID starts acting up again. And when I mean no closings, meaning no closings of schools, right, no closings of businesses, etc. And she came out fast with these two things. She's galvanized many people within the United Conservative Party that were discontented with Kenney. And for your national viewers, her two favorite contemporary politicians are two U.S. governors, Kristi Noem of South Dakota and Governor DeSantis of Florida, so both of whom, of course, had very well-known positions on the COVID file. So Danielle Smith has come out hard, she's come out fast, and she's come out definitively right from the beginning, going against the, let's call it, the establishment of the UCP.
Okay, and just on that division, first, Kelly, do you agree with the assessment, and certainly I've heard that widely as well, that she has pretty much emerged as the front runner? And then how is that kind of cleavage between what she's selling and the establishment, how is that, being reinforced?
I think what we say is true today might not necessarily be true a month or two from now. I think it's easy to say front runner now. We're in the middle of summer. Not everybody is paying attention. Everybody is still exhausted from a leadership review. And all the candidates are doing their best to grab attention, raise money, and get signatures in those circumstances. So I don't think, we say front runner now. That might not be true later on. Having said that, that early energy is important. She is setting the tone of the campaign to now. People are being forced to debate federal vaccine mandates and autonomy legislation for Alberta, whether they would like to or not. So that's what's happening. We have a debate coming at the end of the month. We have another debate coming in August, and everybody will be working off Danielle Smith's agenda at this point. I also think there's a big point of tension right now in terms of, she is coming back. There is this political revival of Danielle Smith. She was the Wildrose leader who crossed over to Jim Prentice's government in 2014 and then subsequently lost the nomination the next year. And then Jim Prentice lost the provincial election to the NDP. There is still a lot of hard feelings amongst Conservatives in the province about this. And she is having to overcome that. And I think what is happening is she is doing that with this barrage of policy that is kind of galvanizing the campaign to now.
What is it, again, Rick, if you're looking at this from outside Alberta, what is it that is resonating with that sort of anti-establishment message?
Well, because a lot of people in the United Conservative Party base, and remember, these are the people who are actually voting, people who are party members. It's not UCP voters in the last election. It's not Albertans at large. It's UCP members, people willing to spend $10 to get a membership. And I think there was a lot of discontent with Premier Kenney, more discontent than some certain pundits thought there was. But there was incredible discontent in the UCP. And that's why it was no surprise to some of us that he got the result that he got in May. So I think it's resonating because she's focusing on two files, the Ottawa file and the COVID file. And for a lot of people in the UCP base, these are two very important files. And for many of them, the ones she's signing up to her side are, disappointments. The way they were handled by Kenney, both files, I think they see those as disappointments. And they see, yes, Danielle had the floor crossing incident. That was very big, and there was a lot of hard feelings. And I wrote nasty columns about her. She's done the repentance tour over and over and over again. And I just think that with that group, is that group big enough? We'll see. I mean, we'll see if these other candidates can galvanize other sections of the party. But they're attacking her a little bit now, but they have got to find their own base of people, which is larger than her base of people. And they have to do it in such a way that it doesn't look like we're talking about lunatics taking over the asylum or anything like that. We don't want that. That we know that playbook doesn't work. But quite frankly, the number two candidate, a lot of people say, is Travis Taves.
Yes.
Very well respected, finance minister. They've got a balanced budget.
Right. Yeah.
But he is seen as very establishment. He has people working on his campaign at the highest levels who are part of the Kenney team.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of a liability that is. I think for a lot of UCP members it is.
Yeah, I want to bring in Kelly on that point, and I just want to sort of re-mention the other candidates. Travis Taves, who, as Rick mentioned, was finance minister, been on this show many times. Leila Ahir, Rebecca Schultz, and then Brian Jean, of course. We just have about a minute left, but if you could single out, who are you watching in that crowd?
Rebecca Schultz is really interesting. She was the Children's Services Minister. She did broker the childcare deal with Ottawa that, is mostly liked in Alberta. Rajan Sawhney was a Transportation Minister. She, is someone who was part of the Kenney government, but certainly wasn't considered an insider. You also have people from politics past coming back again. Raj Sherman, who was a Liberal and a Conservative and is an emergency room doctor. I was at a Danielle Smith rally last Thursday night, and he was there getting members signed up because, of course, right now the push is to get signatures, to get money before tomorrow. You have some more time on the money. So it is, and we have others. There are 10 candidates. It's a very interesting race. A goat rodeo, someone called it to me today.
Raj Sherman, Danielle Smith, Brian Jean. I feel like it's 2010 all over again. Thanks, both of you.
Yes.
Appreciate you making the time this evening, Rick Bell and Kelly Cryderman.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.